All right, all right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Rick Number Hard Podcast, the show that we talk about life's problems that may break or tear our hearts apart. On Reconnect My Heart, we discuss God's answers to life's problems to reconnect our hearts back to the way He originally made us. I apologize for the setup. Um, I was doing some changes, and I ended up having to do some things. But I'm gonna make it real short. I want to come up here. I know a couple of days ago, I did let you all know that I was gonna be returning back on December the 7th, but oh, but I had to come over here today for several reasons. Number one, there's no bad news. It's all good news. The first thing is to let you all know I appreciate y'all prayers, y'all support. Matter of fact, let me do something. Let me let me do this right quick. I'm gonna put this on pause for a second. Okay. To let y'all know that right here, um, you know what? It's okay. Forget it. It is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and go on here live right quick. Anyway, my intention were to go ahead and start on the 7th, which is next Sunday, but I'm gonna have to have a change of plans. Also, today, which is the podcast, the podcast is entitled "Someone I Want to Give a Special Acknowledgement to," and that is my son, Dylan. I want to make sure that I honor him today. That's why I entitled this, and I wanted to come over here instead of doing something next week. I want to do a little something real quick on today, honoring a king, and that king is the birthday boy, my son Dylan. I want to tell him happy birthday. He's turning 20. Wow, he turns 20. But excuse me. Um, me being his father has been one of the greatest joys in my life, and I'm very honored. And I was I was talking to a friend of mine, acknowledging Derek Richardson and his wife, Maury, beautiful couple. We were talking, and I began to start reflecting. And I said I have to come on here and let y'all know that not only he turns 20, and if y'all saw the picture I posted today of him, he's going off to the Marines, lifelong dream. So I thank God for that. But I often think about today, 20 years ago, being his birth. He was born 3 pounds, 3.5 ounces, 17 and a half inches on a Wednesday morning. You know, he was small, and he was in the NICU department. He was on oxygen for the first 6 months of his life. But I said all that to say this: in the beginning, he might have had a rough road, but one thing about it, not just him having a praying father, but also he has a praying mother, and I thank God for that, for us to be able to pray for our son in the midst of everything that was going on. You know, we wanted to make sure that he knew that he was loved. Now, another reason why I wanted to come on here and give him his flowers, because sometimes it's rare that parents acknowledge their children. Oftentimes, we often, discipline them, which there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we have to correct them, but also what we need to do, we need to acknowledge them and publicly praise them, not just privately. And so I want to take the time to tell my son Dylan and to let people know, those that know him, I'm very proud of him. Oftentimes we always hear the mothers are the ones that, give the children the flowers, but let's daddy, let us as fathers do the same thing. Let our children know, daddy proud of you. We love you. And I just thank God that God has blessed me to be able to still have my son here, and also even for us to be able to come together yesterday to celebrate his birthday as well as his departure. And it was myself, many family and friends on both sides, and for people to know that he's loved on both sides. You know, one of the things always share with people, especially when it comes down to co-parenting. Sometimes co-parenting can be very difficult when you're dealing with a difficult person. But one of the things I always say, both of y'all can't be difficult. Somebody have to be the mature one. Somebody has to be the praying one. Sometimes someone that may be the more vocal one, but then there may be times that somebody may have to be the silent one just to pray. Ask God to intervene. Ask God to be the interpreter to come in. And so in acknowledging the King today, acknowledging the King, my son, and also give a shout out to my nephew, Christian Prater. It's his birthday today, and happy birthday, Uncle June loves you. But thanking God that God had blessed me to be able to have someone that will hold me accountable. Oftentimes, we would hear parents say to their children, "Don't do as I say, do as I do." And one of the things I always believe as a father, well, I'll just say as a parent that's so happen to be a father, um, I wanted to make sure that I be an example to my son. I want to make sure that I was an example. So if it's something that my son could not watch, I wasn't going to watch it. Yeah, I'm old enough to watch porn. I'm old enough to watch some adult movies and all that stuff. But if I watch it, that means that my son can't be in there with me. And what people don't realize, their behavior, their actions, is actually causing a division within the family if they don't even know it. It's causing a division within the parent and the child. What do I mean? If you watching porn, you can't watch that with your child. You have to wait till that child leaves. So what we don't realize, spirits travel. Spirits don't leave because you change the channel. What if the devil wants to bring some division? And so what he may have me to do is watch a little porn while my son is asleep somewhere else or whatever. But also what I realize, if we can get together, if I'm able to have my son to watch something that may be cartoon or kiddish or whatever, hey, I may need to be watching the same thing. Why? Because I'm setting an atmosphere of unity. Let my son enjoy a movie with his daddy. Let me as daddy enjoy a movie with my son. So some of the movies and some of the shows that we always watch, Phineas and Ferb, we watch cartoons. And even to this day, I don't care what it is. I always say, if it's something that my son shouldn't watch, that means it's something that my son father shouldn't watch. And so, yeah, to some people, oh, that's too strict. No, I didn't believe in being disciplined. Those that know me, I'm a very disciplined person. And so with that, we have to be intentional as parents. And I thank God, even to this day, yeah, there may be times, I ain't gonna say maybe, but there has been times that many times that the devil tried to take my son out. Many times that the devil tried to harm my son. Matter of fact, when my son's mother called me and was letting me know that they were gonna have to take the baby out because she had a condition, and so I was driving, leaving work. I was praying. I was like, God, 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 rescue Dylan, save Dylan, help him, and God was telling me, stop praying, saying his name. Start praying, saying the meaning of his name. So Dylan, the way it's spelled, Dillon, that particular name means faithful. The way it's spelled, Dylan is spelled differently, and the way it's spelled differently has different meanings. But the way his name is spelled, Dillon, means faithful. And then his middle name, Nathaniel, means gift of God. So as I began to start praying, God was putting in my spirit, God, you are faithful to your word. When you give gifts, you don't give damaged goods. God, we praying for healing. We praying for wholeness towards Dylan, even his mother and all that. And so as I begin to pray, as I'm driving in rush hour traffic, next thing you know, I saw an image. I saw me. And it looked like the way I looked at the time that I was praying. And then I saw a grown man that was right beside me, and I'm like, "Who is that?" Wow, he kind of looks like me, but that's not me. But he's beside me, and God said, "That's Dylan right there." God showed the image of Dylan as an adult before he was born into the world. And I was like, wow, God, I'm holding you to that. God showed me that he was going to be a man of God. God showed me that he was going to be a powerful man of God. God showed me that he was going to be a messenger of God. And I'm like, God, I'm holding you to your word. So when my son was eventually born, yes, in the midst of everything that was going on, the health issues and all this stuff, I felt a disconnect. I'm not saying I don't want nobody to be thinking, oh, you disconnect from your son. No, I felt a disconnect because God was showing me that's not him. That's not his final destination. That's just his entry. That's his entry level position, but that's not his final destination. That's not his final destination. So as I began to start praying, God began to start letting me know to not only pray for my son, but pray for the messenger that God has allowed me to parent. And so as I began to start praying throughout the years, and I was like, wow. So now seeing him as he is now, I'm just blown away. And then also even just as a child, you know, I can imagine it wasn't easy. I know for myself I can speak, it wasn't easy growing up where your mom and dad were divorced. And I thank God that, he's able to talk to me about it now. And he was sharing some things with me throughout the years. And I was like, wow, God, thank you. you know, and I told him I loved him dearly. I told him that, there were times that I would, drop him off home. I was depressed. I was depressed as a father. And so my coping mechanism, it wasn't anything unhealthy, not sweets or smoking or doing anything unhealthy. I would just go to Wendy's and give me a salad. That was my routine. When I drop him off, go to give me a salad and just eat it in the car. Or sometimes bring it to the house and eat it. And I was like, man, But what that did, they gave me a drive to be the best father I could be. It gave me a drive to be able to even help other fathers who may be in my situation, because oftentimes we always see the mothers at the custodial parent. I hope I'm saying the name right. Custodial parent, and then the father is the one that's the non-custodial parent. And so with that, being able to still, as much as I could, as many times I could, see him make an effort. And so with that, now I'm able to see the fruits of the labor, and he has given us beautiful fruits. He honors his mother. Matter of fact, being intentional, when it come down to Mother's Day, or when it come down to his mama's birthday, as well as on Mother's Day, not only looking out for his mother, but also looking out for his sister. I will always ask him, do you have any money? Here you go. Here's some money. Put in your pocket. Get something for your mom. Get something for your sister and stuff like that. And he began to do that. And the thing is, not about me, but more so about him, because I could have told him to do that. He could have did it temporarily until he got on his feet and was like, you know what, forget all that. But he continues to do that even to this day. And so I just thank God, and I want to make sure that this episode today, to honor my son, to give him his flowers while he can smell them, to give him his flowers where he know that, he's loved not only by daddy, but the community, the Facebook family, many people that are my family and friends, even on Facebook. Even on social media, they reach out to check on him, and a lot of them, they said that they've seen him grow up before their eyes. So now I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, I see him, and I see him as a younger version of myself, and I tell him sometimes, a lot of times when I'm around him, sometimes I just sit back and just be like that proud papa, that proud peacock, because God had blessed and chose me as his father. And I thank God for the love he have towards his mother, towards his sister, towards his nephew and niece, towards his uncles, aunts. Very respectful young man. And I thank God for him. I told him if I was his age, I would want to have a friend like him. And so with that, and I also have seen him minister and witness to people that he know and even those he don't know. He make an intentional effort to make sure that people know about Christ. Man, I mean, how many young people that you know do that? Yeah, dealing with the ridicule of, oh, he's a nerd, he's square. Yeah, we hear that. We put down people who are trying to do something, but those that ain't doing nothing, we praise them. That's backwards. And so, yeah, I wanted to get on here and just, like I said, give my son his flowers and appreciate him. Like I said, for those who came out yesterday, I thank each and every one of y'all. You know, I'm speechless. Like I said, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I didn't get a chance to finish my setup. I got to take it to the cleaners and this and that. And I said, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna go ahead and go on here right now. So I want to take the time to tell Facebook, tell those who may be watching on social media throughout the years. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love, the respect that y'all have given our family. Continue to hold up our family. Continue to hold up Dylan. Keep him up in prayer. When they get ready to go off, yeah, they may be many miles away, but prayer is still close by. And so not only for us to be praying for him, but we know that he's going to be praying for us. And for him to be able to be praying for himself. And like I said, for those who may be watching or listening, I want you to be proud. I want you to take a step forth. And if you have a dream, if you have a desire, put God first. Keep God first. Matter of fact, I do have to acknowledge this. I got to acknowledge this. Another thing, I'm so proud of that King Dylan. He has the desire, he has always had a desire to be in the military, the Marines. He wanted to be a Marine. My brother, Ronnie, was in the Marines, and we have a picture of him right when you walk into our front door. And Dylan would say when he come in, he would see that picture of his uncle Ronnie. And for a while, like I said, he was a pre-wing. And so for a while, they said, oh, he has asthma. His asthma is too bad. His asthma too bad. And even through our school, he was trying his best to see what he could do to be able to get his lungs strengthened enough so he could pass the test. Well, for many years, he failed. But this year, in January, he took a test, a lung test. He needed to make a 40, I think a 40 or 42, one or the other. And he made a 23. He was disappointed. But instead of him stopping, you know what he did? He kept on working. He kept on persevering. The next time he made, I think he needed to make a 40. I think he made a 42. Okay, he passed. But he didn't stop. He kept on going. So now it's like he was going higher and higher. Now that boy, running, I think he ran 2 miles in 11 minutes or 2.5 miles. My glasses. 2.5 miles in 11 minutes. I'm like, dude, you killing it, man. Man, thank God for you, man. And also for him to transform his body. He got muscles, we call it muscles. He has muscles. He's coming defined and all this. I'm like, man, that's what you call exercising faith. A lot of times people just say, well, I'm going to utilize faith. God, I want to join the Marines, so I'm just going to exercise my faith and do nothing. And I told Dylan, he exercised true faith. Faith is not sitting down doing nothing. Faith is standing up doing something, putting in the work. He said that he believed that God gonna help him to get into the military, and if it's God's will, he gonna do it. So you know what he did? He put in the work. He put in the sweat equity. He did what he's supposed to do. And that song says, if you make one step, he'll make two. Now, some people may not understand the principle of that, but the thing is, you do your part, they give God access to do his part. And that's what God did on behalf of Dylan. And so now, he's going to be leaving in a couple of days. And like I said, yeah, we're going to miss him, but I'm looking all proud of him because he's standing on his own 2 feet. But most importantly, he's standing on the word of God. He trusts in God in every area. And he's not just saying it, he's exhibiting it, he's doing it. So, like I said, that makes me prouder than a peacock. And so, with that, I want to thank each and every one of y'all, each and every one of y'all, each and every one of y'all for loving this family, and also I got to say that thanking God for allowing me to be here. Even when the devil tried to take me out, God saw fit to keep me here for me to be able to see my son, for me to be able to see, my seed to go forth in the purpose and plan that God has for him. And we thanking God for a safe return back. Thank God for it. And not just safe physically, but mentally, but most importantly, spiritually. And so with that, I want to thank each and every one of y'all, and I thank God. Thank God for y'all. Like I said, they want to come up on here just to give y'all a little something for y'all to be able to know how proud of a dad I am. So with that being said, whoops, sorry. Sorry, I forgot to put the phone on mute. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all so much for everything. So what I'm gonna do next week, I may have a special episode I have not aired. There's a special episode that I've been keeping on reserve, and I'm gonna see if I can air it next week. So that way, week after that, I'll be back on full time. And so with that, I want to thank each and every one of you all for your presence, y'all support, y'all love, everything. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for listening and watching Reconnect My Heart. God bless you, and good night. Take care.